Welcome to Audit Universe. Today, we will cover test of design, test of effectiveness, and remediation controls with practical audit examples.
First, the auditor understands that the business process and identifies the control designed to mitigate a specific risk.
The auditor verifies whether the control addresses the identified risk and supports the control objective. Next, the auditor reviews policies, procedures, and process documentation. This describes how the control should operate. The auditor performs a walkthrough to confirm control operations.
We initiate the process here.
Then it requires a secondary review. And where is that evidence logged? The auditor evaluates whether the control is preventive or detective, performed at the right frequency, and assigned to the appropriate person. The design assessment is documented, including control description, risk addressed, and supporting evidence.
Finally, the auditor concludes whether the control is suitably designed to prevent or detect material errors before proceeding to test of operating effectiveness. After confirming a control is properly designed, auditors perform test of effectiveness to verify whether the control actually worked during the audit period. Imagine a company has many controls to prevent mistakes and fraud. But how can auditors know those controls actually work during the year? That is where test of effectiveness comes in. Auditors verify whether a control operated consistently throughout the audit period. Test of design checks whether a control is properly designed. Test of effectiveness checks whether employees actually followed that control. Let's understand with a practical example. A company requires manager approval before issuing any purchase order.
The approval is the control. It prevents unauthorized purchases and protects company money.
To test effectiveness, auditors select a sample of purchase orders from various months of the year.
They verify whether every selected purchase order received the required approval before it was issued.
If approvals are consistently present and properly documented, the control is considered effective. But if approvals are missing, auditors identify a control failure and evaluate its impact.
Remember, test of design asks whether the control can work. Test of effectiveness proves whether the control did work. That's how auditors gain confidence in internal controls.
Let's discuss about remediation process. Let's say an auditor identified a control failure. This means the existing control is not working as intended and must be corrected.
The first step in remediation process is understanding the root cause. Management investigates why the control failed and what created the problem.
As you can see, this terminated employee still has active access permissions, highlighted in red. The process triggers as soon as HR enters the data. There go the check marks, access removed. The auditor retests the control and confirms it is working effectively. The deficiency is closed, completing the remediation process.